still?
Silvana, ¿me apreté algo, mira? Sorry, I'm in Arica.
Okay. All right. Let's begin by offering our respects to the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Agyana Timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vyascha Kripa Sindhu Vya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, so let's see who we have here today. We have with us Auntie Nita. Then we have Aja, who's joining us after a long time. Welcome back, Aja. And then we have Disha Melwani, Jagriti, Joli Nandwani, Kalpana Heblekar, Karuna Jadwani, Lal Melwani, and Mehek Melwani. Then we have Bhumika, Manju, Meena Bharwani. Then we have NC Venkatchari. We have Rajiv Kumar. My parents are there. Then we have Ritu Lalwani, Saket, Varsha Mayani, Venkatesh A, and Brinda Gopika Mataji. Thank you all very much for joining our weekly classes. So what did we see in the previous class? We started chapter number 4 titled Transcendental Knowledge. So in the first few verses, Krishna is talking about the disciplic succession, about the parampara system, how this knowledge was received, how this knowledge was passed down, from him. He said that he first spoke it to the sun god. So Arjuna is not the first recipient of this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. And then how this knowledge was passed down through disciplic succession. So it's very important that this knowledge we receive from somebody who's belonging to a bona fide disciplic succession. It's very important that one has a guru, his guru has his guru, his guru has his guru, like that all the way it goes to Krishna. The buck stops at Krishna. If somebody says that he's a guru and he has never accepted a spiritual master, he says that he has never read the Shastras, he doesn't need a guru, then that's not the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita. That's not what Krishna says. He talks about how this knowledge is received through the chain of disciplic succession. So Guru Parampara is very, very important. We discussed how there are 4, not in the previous class, but long back we discussed how there are 4 bona fide sampradayas. So like that, when one belongs to one of the 4 bona fide sampradayas, then we know that the person is genuine. We should not get cheated, because a lot of people, they use jugglery of words, and they twist and alter the meaning of the message of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Then Arjuna asks a question. His doubt is, if you have spoken it to the sun god, how am I to understand? How am I to understand, Arjuna asks, that you have spoken this to him? Because Vivashwan, the sun god is much more senior by birth to you. You are still here only, He was in front of him on the battlefield. He was 125 years old. So how come you have spoken this knowledge, Arjuna asks. And then Krishna talks about how he has gone through many births and he remembers them. And Arjuna also has gone through many births, but Arjuna does not remember it. So a living entity does not remember his previous birth. When we take another body, then our memory is erased. The impressions are there on the mind, but the memory is erased. And then Krishna here talks about the nature of his appearance. He says that his his own nature, he says that he's unborn. The uniqueness of Krishna is that he is unborn. He does not depend on the womb of a mother, or he does not depend on a man and woman have to unite for Krishna to appear. Krishna is unborn and his body is completely transcendental. It does not grow old. It does not deteriorate. It does not die. It is not born. The Lord appears and disappears. And then Krishna says that he is the Lord of all the living entities. He is the Lord of all the living entities. So irrespective of whether one believes in Krishna or no, irrespective of whether one is an atheist or a theist, or one is following the path of Krishna consciousness, doesn't matter. Krishna is the Lord of each one of us. Krishna himself declares this in the Bhagavad Gita. And then Krishna says he appears in every millennium. So 1 millennium is 1 day in the life of Brahma. And we discussed what is the life of Brahma. Anybody remembers? How long does Lord Brahma live?
100 years.
100 years. 100 of his years. And our calculation?
1000 years for 12 hours.
So what's the 1000?
Daytime. 1000 years for 12 hours of 1 day. And then again for night time, again 1000 years for 1 night.
1000 years, but 1000 years of what? 1000 into
1000,
what? One data you're missing.
1000 into 2 for 1 day. For
1000 into 2, yeah, 1000 into 2, but there is a one big number that you have to multiply before that. What is that? What has to be multiplied by 1000?
A millennium?
No, millennium is 1 day in the life of Brahma. So how do you calculate 1 day of Brahma?
Because
We discussed the yugas.
1,000 years is a millennium, right?
No. Wait, let me.
No,
let me-
we need, hello? Need to
Yes.
multiply by the Divya Yoga into 30 days.
Yes, you need to 1,000. First of all, is the Divya Yuga multiplied by 1,000.
Mm.
So how much is one Divya Yuga?
4,320,000 years.
Yes, correct. How do you get that figure of 4,320,000 years?
You add all the 4 yogas.
Correct. Very nice. When all the 4 yugas, the duration of all the 4 yugas put together make one Divya Yuga. So now that Divya Yuga, you multiply by 1,000, as Ritu was saying, into 2. Now you can complete the formula. Ritu, are you there?
So 1,000 into 2 into 30 days into 12 months
Yes.
Yes.
for 1 year.
Correct. And your final figure is? And then into 100 because he lives for 100 years.
Yeah,
Right?
he lives for 100 years.
36,000.
So no.
No.
What's the-
No.
311 trillion and 40 billion years. Okay, by human calculation, Lord Brahma lives for 311 trillion and 40 billion years. If you take your calculator, your scientific calculator can give you this figure. The ordinary calculators, they give you an error message. You cannot even calculate in those calculators. So what happens when Lord Brahma completes his stipulated period?
Then again, there is a destruction when he completes his 100 years of the cycle.
Yes. So there are 2 kinds of destruction. One is partial and one is complete. When does partial destruction happen? And when does complete destruction happen? What happens at the end of Brahma's life is partial or complete?
Complete, right?
Yes, complete destruction. And when does partial destruction happen? At the end of Brahma's?
When Brahma Lord. At the end of Brahma's day, no? Day?
Day, yes, very nice. At the end of Brahma's day, there is partial destruction. At the end of Brahma's lifetime, there is complete destruction. And the whole process against Satya Yuga starts rolling again. So what happens to all the living entities who are not yet qualified for liberation? Where do they go when there is destruction?
We die and go to not godly places.
So where do they go? So remember, Mahavishnu is breathing. Mahavishnu, when he breathes in, all the universes go inside the body, right? So all the universes, along with all the living entities, go inside the body of Mahavishnu. And when again Mahavishnu breathes out, all the living entities are again coming into
Life.
this material realm, and they again continue from where they left off because they are not yet qualified to become liberated, right? Those who are qualified for liberation, they go to the spiritual world, but those who are not yet qualified, even at the end of destruction and even at the end of so many trillions of years, then they are in the body of Mahavishnu until he breathes out, and then they continue from where they left off. This is what happens. And then at the end of Brahma's lifetime, somebody else who is qualified to become Lord Brahma, he occupies the post. Now, question. What happens if nobody is qualified to become Lord Brahma and the post is vacant? Then what happens? Who can say? What do you think would happen? Okay, we'll leave that for now. We will answer the question in the midst of today's class. Okay. Today, we will be beginning with a shloka which every Indian knows. Very, very famous 2 shlokas. But before that, please tell me who can read today.
I can read.
Okay, thank you, Divya. Let's hear the shloka.
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of a religion, at that time I descend myself.
So Krishna is talking about when he comes, no, the time of his descent. When does he come? Whenever there is a decline in religious practices and there is a rise of irreligion. That time Krishna says, that time I descend myself. He personally comes. Okay, he personally comes. So we saw how he comes once in the day of Brahma. And we discussed how we are very fortunate that we are in the same Divya Yuga cycle in which Krishna appeared, right? So this we already saw previously. He appears in every day of Brahma in the 7th Manu. So how many Manus are there in one day of Brahma? We discussed this in the previous class.
14.
14, yes, 14 Manus. So he comes during the 7th Manu. And in every Manu's reign, there are how many Divya Yugas?
28.
Not 28.
71.
Cycle.
71, yes, 71 Divya Yugas. So one Manu reigns for 71 Divya Yugas. So in the 7th Manus, 28 out of the 71 in the 28th Divya Yuga. And now in that Divya Yuga, all the 4 Yugas are there, right? Because all 4 Yugas put together is the Divya Yuga. So in that Divya Yuga, he comes during the end of Dwapar Yuga. Because the day Krishna departs, then Kali Yuga begins. Kali Yuga cannot come unless Krishna is present on the planet. So he comes at the end of Dwapara Yuga, just when Kali Yuga is about to begin. So now currently, which of the 14 Manus is reigning? Which, the first, second, third, which one of the 14 is reigning currently?
Is it 7th?
7th, yes. Why do you say 7th?
Because Krishna was there 5,000 years ago, right?
Aha, correct. Very nice. So we are in the same Manu where Krishna appeared. Remember, I said that we are in the same cycle of Divya Yuga when Krishna has appeared. So right now, it is a 7th Manu who is reigning. So our current Lord Brahma is how old? There are 14 Manus.
7 multiply Divya Yugas, then 4,000. Then the one day
Okay, we don't have that calculation. But our current Lord Brahma is in his 51st year. Okay, he's in his 51st year currently. Okay, so let's go to 4.8.
परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear, millennium after millennium.
So now Krishna is explaining the purpose of his descent. Why does Krishna come, right? Previously he said when he comes, but now he's explaining why he comes. So he gives 3 reasons. What are they? One is paritranaya sadhunam, for the devotees, for the deliverance of his devotees, right? To deliver the pious. Number 2, he says vinashaya cha dushkritam, the dushkritam, the miscreants, right? The demons. He is coming to vinashaya cha, to destroy or to annihilate the miscreants. And number 3, he says dharma samstharpanarthaya. So he is coming to re-establish the principles of religion. And then Krishna says, I myself appear. So Krishna comes as Krishna. He is not sending one of his expansions, right? He is himself coming, Krishna says, millennium after millennium. Now, out of these 3 reasons, what do you think is the most important? If you have to prioritize, number 1 reason would be
Sadhunam,
paritranaya sadhunam. Why?
because his devotees are very dear to him.
His devotees are very dear to him. So actually Krishna's main agenda is to, he is coming to please his devotees, right? He is coming to attract his devotees so that we get attracted to him. Now, how do we get attracted by him? By his leelas. That's why Lord Krishna is called as Leela Purushottam, right? His leelas, his pastimes are unparalleled, right from his appearance up to his disappearance. All his leelas are so enduring, isn't it? His stealing the butter, his appearance also was so dramatic, and then his killing all these demons in Vrindavan. So he attracts people by his pastimes. Okay, so Sandra, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Sandra.
I was wondering, last lesson you talk about the proper questions or the kind of questions that somebody can do. But I was wondering, I don't know if my question is appropriate, but I was wondering to myself, if Krishna came with that mission or those missions, did Krishna have success?
Did Krishna?
The Krishna's mission is successful, and this is my confusion, because he came, no? He gave us the most relevant scriptures, but I don't understand if his mission is accomplished.
If his mission is accomplished. So actually we are going to be discussing further in today's slides, if time so permits, as to is it relevant in Kali Yuga? How does it apply to us? So one may think that, okay, he came so many years back, he gave the knowledge to Arjuna, he convinced Arjuna to fight, and yes, he did re-establish the principles of religion, because Yudhishthir, the righteous and pious king, the righteous person was crowned king, right? Because if Duryodhan would have been crowned king, then there would have been chaos. There would be irreligiosity in the society and with the people at large. So yes, Krishna did re-establish the principles of religion. Did he annihilate the miscreants? Yes, he killed several demons. He killed many of those people who were against dharma. He killed many people who were not following the religious principles. So yes, he did do that. And did he deliver the pious? Yes, because every person who came in touch with Krishna, who got attracted to Krishna, the sincere people, they did get attracted to Krishna, and yes, they were delivered. In fact, in Krishna's presence, every person who died on the battlefield, they all attained liberation, because Krishna was personally present on the planet. So definitely when he was there, he was successful. But even though now he is not physically present with us, it still helps us. How, we will see later in the slides. Does that answer your
Thank
question?
you. Yes. For now, yes.
Okay, you're welcome.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. So here, why does Krishna appear? We just discussed these three reasons. But his actual agenda is to please or satisfy the devotees and attract the lost children. Because this thing of killing the demons, he can send even his expansion, right? Any one of Krishna's expansions can also come and kill the demons. That does not require personal Krishna to personally come. And even to re-establish the religious principles, he can send his representative. He can send a knowledgeable person, a pure devotee, in order to preach and re-establish the principles of religion. So for that also, Krishna does not have to personally appear. So his real agenda is that he comes for the sake of his devotees, because the devotees are hankering, right? They want to see Krishna, and they want to, the sincere people, Krishna wants to attract the sincere people towards him, so that they can be delivered. Now we have to remember that Krishna is not some kind of a dictator where he wants everybody to worship him, where he wants everybody to surrender unto him. And because, one may think, because previously in the previous class, we saw how Krishna said that he is the Lord of all the living entities. So one may think that, why is Krishna speaking like that? Why is he saying that I am the Lord of all living entities? Why is he blowing his own trumpet? One may think that he's showing off. But the fact of the matter is, unless we don't surrender to Krishna, irrespective of which path we may be following, ultimately spiritual world is Krishna, right? We have to go to Krishna, irrespective of who we are, where we are born, which religious principle we are following. Ultimately, only if we surrender to Krishna, we can go back to the spiritual world. So therefore, Krishna is only stating the facts. If the president of the country says, I am the president of the country, he is just stating a fact. He's not showing off. Yes. So Krishna is stating these facts so that the sincere people will be attracted to him and they can be delivered. It's not that Krishna is interested in blowing his own trumpet. Krishna is not a dictator. He's a benefactor. It is for our benefit that he says what he says. So therefore, because he wants to attract the lost children, he performs pastimes in all 5 rasas. Now there are 5 rasas. Rasas means mellows or moods. Now different devotees connect to Krishna in a different way. Not everybody sees Krishna as a paramount, right? Somebody connects to Krishna as a friend. Somebody may connect to Krishna as a servant. Somebody may connect to Krishna as a parent. Somebody may connect to Krishna as a lover. So in order to attract all categories of devotees, right, irrespective of whether you're attracted to Krishna, because some people are more attracted to Bal Gopal, right? They like to worship the Bal form or the child form of Krishna. Some people are attracted to Krishna as a lover, like Mirabai always saw Krishna as her husband, right, as a lover. So she was attracted to this rasa, Madhurya rasa. But personalities like Devaki, Vasudev, Yashoda, they were in this Vatsalya rasa. They were attracted to Krishna because for them, Krishna is their son. For Yashoda, Krishna is her son. That's it. Irrespective of he's killing so many demons, irrespective of irrespective of the fact that she saw the whole universe in Krishna's mouth. For her, Krishna is her son. So she is praying. She prays to Lord Vishnu for the protection of Krishna. Because for her, Krishna is my son. That's it, nothing else. So like that, different devotees connect to Krishna differently. And therefore, he performs leelas or pastimes in all the 5 rasas. Now, what are these 5 rasas? Is here. So the constitutional position of every living entity is in one of the 5 rasas. So every living entity means it includes even us. It includes even us. But probably for somebody who's beginning in Krishna consciousness, it is not yet revealed. This constitutional position is not yet revealed. Anyway, So what are the 5 rasas? Shanta rasa, appreciation of the Lord in terms of his greatness, opulence, omnipotent nature, kindness, etc. Neutral stage. So in the Shanta rasa, one is not actively serving the Lord, but is in a neutral stage. One appreciates the greatness of the Lord, but is not actively serving the Lord on a personal basis. So example of this is the grass in Vrindavan, for example, right? Or the trees. Krishna is sometimes under the shade of a tree. Now, the living entity, which is in the body of the tree, is providing shade and breeze to Krishna, but is not actively serving Krishna, neutral stage. Then, Dasya Ras. Awe and reverence of Shanta Rasa are still there, but one has added service to the Lord. So now there is active servant, relation as a servant, right? Dasya Ras. So the best example of this is Hanuman. Hanuman was there at the beck and call of Lord Ramachandra. Everything that one word from Lord Ramachandra, immediately Hanuman is ready to execute that instruction. So Hanuman is in the Dasya Ras with the Lord. Then we come to Sakhya Ras. Sakhya Ras, here the formality of Dasya is God. See, when one is a servant, so always there is formality between the master and the servant. There is a formality. But in Sakhya Ras, in friendship, that formality of the servant relationship is not there. So there is more intimacy in Sakhya Ras than there is in Dasya Ras. So here one relates to the Lord as a friend. So this is Arjuna and Krishna. You can see photos of how Arjuna and Krishna are sitting together and they are laughing and joking, right? They are on the same platform. So they are laughing and joking and having fun. So Arjuna's relationship with Arjuna was in the Sakhya Ras. Then Vatsalya Ras. Here there is more intimacy than there is friendship, right? But here the relationship is that of being protective and nurturing, right? Here the relation is as a parent. So we discussed how Yashoda and Devaki, they are all in the Vatsalya Ras. They see Krishna as their son. Now there is more intimacy in Vatsalya Ras than there is in Sakhya Ras. There are many things that we can confide with our parents, but we cannot reveal it to all our friends. Yes, we may be also when we go out with friends, we make sure that we are we appear a certain way, like we comb our hair, we have we wear clothes that are ready. At home we may be dressed in torn clothes also, but we are with our parents, so it doesn't matter to us. But when we are with friends, then we are more conscious, right? So there is more intimacy in Vatsalya Ras than in Sakhya Ras. Now, highest intimacy is when you relate to the Lord as a conjugal lover. So Srimati Radharani and all the gopis of Vrindavan, they share this Madhurya Ras with Krishna. So everything is there. Here formality is broken and there is appreciation for Krishna, which is full of care and nurturing. So in Madhurya Ras, there is the protective and nurturing relationship, as well as there is more intimacy. So one may be very, very one may not be appropriately dressed also in front of your conjugal lover, with your husband, with your wife, but you cannot do that with your parents. So therefore there is more intimacy in Madhurya Ras than there is in Vatsalya Ras. So as we proceed from Shanta Ras to Madhurya Ras, the intimacy increases. So somebody may relate to Krishna like in Shanta, some in Dasya, some in Sakhya. So therefore Krishna wants to attract all categories of devotees, right? So therefore he performs pastimes in all the 5 rasas. So therefore he has Rasa Leela. So when somebody sees Krishna as their paramount, then they are attracted to the Rasa Leela pastime of Krishna. When somebody relates to Krishna as a parent, when somebody worships Bal Gopal and he's attracted to that form of Krishna, then they are more attracted to Damodar Leela, or the Leelas of Krishna when he was stealing butter. So all that is in Vatsalya Ras. Like that, Krishna performs pastime in all the 5 rasas in order to attract the living entities. Now Krishna here, he says that I myself appear, right? I myself appear millennium after millennium. But what about the other avatars that are coming? The other times, it's not that there is nobody here to guide us. In the other times also, there are other avatars. So there are 6 kinds of incarnations. Purusha avatar, Leela avatar, Guna avatar, Manvantara avatar, Yuga avatar, and Shaktavesha avatar. We will see what these are. So there are three Purusha avatars. The three Purusha avatars are the three Vishnus: Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and Kshirodakashai Vishnu. So these are the plenary expansions. The word plenary expansion means they have the same potency as Krishna. They have the same potency as Krishna. So what does Mahavishnu do? Mahavishnu is lying in the causal ocean or Karana ocean, and there he is creating universes by his breathing. Then Mahavishnu has created all these bubbles that you can see. They are all coming from the pores of the body of Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu's body is huge. We cannot even imagine how big. Okay, and from his body, from every pore of his skin, an entire universe is created. Now, one universe means 14 planetary systems. So he is creating universes by his breathing. Now, from Mahavishnu expands Garbhodakashai Vishnu. So now into each universe, Garbhodakashai Vishnu enters, right? All these universes are there. Now somebody has to take care of those universes. So from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and Garbhodakashai Vishnu is lying in the Garbhodaka ocean. And he is taking care of each universe. So there are millions of universes, and therefore there are millions of Garbhodakashai Vishnu. And each Garbhodakashai Vishnu is taking care of his universe. Now, from the navel of Garbhodakashai Vishnu, a lotus springs up, and that from lotus comes Lord Brahma. And therefore, Lord Brahma's planet is the highest planet in the 14 planetary systems. So Lord Brahma is the creator, right? He creates the bodies. Now, we living entities are there, the soul is there, but the soul requires these material bodies. So all these different bodies that are there, right? All these different species that are there, Lord Brahma creates all these different bodies so that the soul can get a body according to the desire of the living entity and according to what the living entity also deserves, right? So what we desire and what we deserve, a combination of these two determines what kind of body we are going to get. So Lord Brahma is the creator, no doubt, but he is the created creator. He is the created creator because he is coming from Garbhodakashai Vishnu. Garbhodakashai Vishnu is coming from Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is coming from Krishna. Krishna's first expansion in the material world is Mahavishnu. So Lord Brahma is the creator, no doubt, but he is the created creator. Then now what happens? All these living entities are there within the universe. Now, now Garbhodakashai Vishnu expands as Kshirodakashai Vishnu. Kshirodakashai Vishnu, or the Paramatma, or the super soul. So he enters into the heart of every living entity, and he guides the living entity throughout his journey in the material world. The minute we leave the material world, the super soul accompanies us through all the different bodies, and then he leaves us only when we enter the spiritual world. So the same Paramatma is there within the heart of each living entity, not only human beings, but even in the body of the ant, even in the body of the pig, even in the body of the worm in stool. Even there the Paramatma is residing to guide us. Sometimes we say, no, I cannot do this, my consciousness is pricking me. What is that consciousness that's pricking us when we do something wrong? It is a Paramatma who is guiding us from within. It is a Paramatma who is guiding us from within. But unfortunately, sometimes we get so busy with our material lives that we stop listening to the Paramatma. We don't even stop to hear the guidance of the Paramatma. But you see how merciful the Lord is. He has made all arrangements. It's not that we are in this material world and he has left us alone. They do what you like. No, but he is there to guide us constantly. Now, so these are the three Purusha avatars, the three Vishnus. Then we come to Leela avatars. Now, Leela means pastime. So during Brahma's one day, there are 25 Leela avatars. Leela avatars means they perform a certain Leela, a certain pastime. And they're also known as Kalpa avatars because they appear in every Kalpa. One Kalpa is one day in the life of Brahma. 1 millennium is called as one Kalpa. So what are these 25 Leela avatars? We have the 4 Kumaras, who are the 4 sons of Lord Brahma. Then we have Narada Muni. Then we have Varahadev, Matsya. Then we have Yagya. So here is the answer to the question that we were discussing initially. What happens if nobody is qualified to become Lord Brahma? Then the Lord himself will take that position. Okay, so Yagya is the son of Prajapati, Ruchi and Akuti during the period of Swayambhuva Manus. Now Swayambhuva Manu is the first out of the 14 Manus. Okay, so during the period of Swayambhuva Manu, there was no qualified Indra. So the Lord appeared as Yagya and took that position. So even Indra is a post. All the Devatas, they are all posts, and one who is qualified takes up that post. So in the reign of Swayambhuva Manu, there was no one who was qualified to become Indra or the king of heaven. So then the Lord himself appeared as Yagya and took that position. Then we have Naranarayana, the twin sons of King Dharma and Murti. Naranarayana then came as, they are the partial expansions of Krishna and Arjuna. Then we have Kapila Muni, and we have Dattatreya, who's the son of Atri Muni and Anasuya. And then we have Hayagriva, Hamsa, the swan incarnation. Then we have Prishni Garbha. When Dhruva Maharaj was engaged in his deep meditation, that time, and then at the end of 6 months, the Lord appeared personally in front of him. So it was Prishni Garbha, this form of the Lord, who had come before Dhruva Maharaj. Then we have Rishabh Dev. Then we have Prithu Maharaj. The earth is called Prithvi because of Prithu Maharaj. You can read his stories there in the Srimad Bhagavatam also. And then we have Narsimha Dev, who killed Hiranyakashipu in order to save Prahlad. And we have the tortoise incarnation, Kurma. Then we have Dhanvantari, the father of Ayurveda. Then we have Mohini, when the Lord came in the form of a very beautiful woman. Then we have Vamana Dev, the dwarf incarnation. Then we have Parashuram, Lord Ramachandra. Then we have Vyasadev, who composed, who put all the Vedic literature into writing, right? He wrote everything down for us. Then there is Balaram, who is also the first plenary expansion of Krishna. Krishna's first expansion is Lord Balaram. And Krishna's first expansion in the material world is Mahavishnu. Then we have Krishna himself. Krishna also is a Leela avatar. He is also performing pastimes, right? Leelas. Then we have Buddha and we have Kalki. So Kalki avatar is yet to appear. So say, what does the Bhagavatam say about Kalki? He is not yet appeared. He will come at the end of Kali Yuga. We have crossed only 5,000 years of Kali Yuga. So we have lot of time to go before Kali Yuga ends, before Kalki can actually appear. So this is the son of Brahmana Vishnu Yasa. He will appear in the village Sambala at the end of Kali Yuga. He will mount a horse, Devadatta, and taking his sword, will kill millions upon millions of degraded barbarian humans. He will also commence Satya Yuga, because he's coming at the end of Kali Yuga. Then after that, again Satya Yuga begins. So Bhagavatam provides us his name, his father's name, in which village he will appear. We even know the name of his horse, right? So Bhagavatam is giving us full details, but already now there are many people who say that they are the Kalki avatar. So because people don't have the proper knowledge, they are not taking the knowledge from the right sources, then they get cheated by these cheaters, right? But if somebody claims that he is Kalki, then he has to fulfill all these things that are given in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam was composed or written down by, of course, the knowledge is passed down from time immemorial, from the time of creation, from the dawn of creation, but it was put into writing by Vyasadeva 5,000 years back when Kali Yuga began for our benefit, yes. And that time itself, he had already predicted even the appearance of Buddha. That time Buddha had not yet appeared. So that time also he had already given the details of Buddha. And he said that he will appear in Gaya in the beginning of Kali Yuga to stop animal slaughter. So these were the Leela avatars. Then we have the Guna avatars. There are 3 gunas: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So we have Lord Vishnu, who is in charge of the mode of goodness, Lord Brahma, who is in charge of the mode of passion, and Lord Shiva, who is in charge of the mode of ignorance. Now, this does not mean that Shiva is in the mode of ignorance or Brahma is in the mode of passion. No. Devatas are in the mode of goodness. Shiva is in charge. He is taking care of that mode of ignorance. So we should not misunderstand. See, when we need to create something, we need passion. When we need to destroy something, then it is mode of ignorance, isn't it? Therefore, Lord Shiva is the destroyer and Lord Brahma is the creator. And in order to attract people in the mode of ignorance only, Lord Shiva dresses up in a certain way. You will see Lord Shiva, he has dust on his body. He covers himself with a deer skin. And he does not have a very very attractive appearance, in the sense that because he's covered by the dust and all that, right? So why he dresses up like that? Out of mercy for the people who are in the mode of ignorance, the ghosts and the spirits, no, they are attracted to this kind of a form. So, and he is their well-wisher because he is in charge of the mode of ignorance. So these people, the ghosts and spirits, are attracted to that kind of a form, and therefore he dresses up like that out of his causeless mercy for these people. Therefore, one of Lord Shiva's name is Bhutnath. He is called as Bhutnath because he is the well-wisher of the ghosts and the demons. Now, Lord Brahma is in charge of the mode of passion. Therefore, he is the creator, or rather, he is the creator. And Lord Vishnu, he is in charge of the mode of goodness. He maintains. He is in charge of maintenance. Now, easiest is to destroy. More difficult than that is to create. But the most difficult job is to maintain. We can be very passionate. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to start a new venture. I'm going to start a new business. Mode of passion. Very nice. Okay, we start off. It's even more easier to shut the business down. No more. I'm frustrated. Shut the business. Even more easier is to shut it down. Mode of ignorance. But the most difficult part is to maintain your business. No. So therefore, maintenance is most difficult amongst the three. Then we have the Manvantara avatars. As we discussed, there are 14 Manus during the day of Brahma. So we have the 14 names here. You see, the first Manu was Swayambhuva Manu. And right now we are in the 7th, right? Vaivashvata Manu. So these are the names of the 14 Manus. Each Manvantara is presided over by a different Indra. Then we have the Yuga avatars. Now we know that there are 4 yugas: Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So in each yuga, there are different avatars. And they are called as the Yuga avatar. So the Srimad Bhagavatam also gives us a detail. In the 4 yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, the Lord incarnates in 4 colors: white, red, black, and yellow. So who is this incarnation in Satya Yuga? What information we have about this Satya Yuga incarnation? In Satya Yuga, the Lord appeared in a body colored white with 4 arms and a matted hair. He wore tree bark and bore a black antelope skin. He wore a sacred thread and a garland of Rudraksha beads. He carried a rod and a water pot, and he was a brahmachari. So what did he do? As the white incarnation, the Lord taught religion and meditation. And he's glorified by the names Hamsa, Suparna, Vaikuntha, Dharma, Yogeshwara, Amala, Ishwara, Purusha, Avyakta, and Paramatma. So this is the white incarnation of Satya Yuga. Then in Treta Yuga, the Lord appears in a red complexion. How does he appear? He has 4 arms, golden hair, wears a triple belt representing initiation into each of the 3 Vedas, embodying the knowledge of worship by sacrificial performance, which is contained in the Rig, Sama, and Yajur Vedas. His symbols are the ladle, spoon, and other implements of sacrifice. So why does he have these ladle, spoon, and other implements of sacrifices? Because we discussed previously how every yuga has a certain yuga dharma, right? Or the way by which we can go back to the spiritual world. What is the predominant way or predominant religious practice? So in the Treta Yuga, the predominant religious practice was yagyas, fire sacrifices. So therefore, he has these symbols, ladle, spoon, and other implements of sacrifice. Because for doing a fire yagya, you need the ladle and the spoon, right? We offer ghee into the fire, and other articles also are offered in the fire. So in the Treta Yuga, he is glorified by the names Vishnu, Yagya, Prishni, Garbha, Sarva, Deva, Urukrama, Vrishakapi, Jayanta, and Urugaya. Then in the Dwapara Yuga, the people's occupational duty was to worship the lotus feet of the Lord. Therefore, Lord Krishna, appearing in a blackish body, personally induced people to worship him. So you can see how Krishna induces people to worship him. Now, he is dressed in yellow. You will see Krishna is always dressed in a yellow dhoti. So if we even know the color of the clothes of the Lord, we know the color of the skin of the Lord, we even know the color of his clothes. So our Shastra gives us such great details, minute details. There is no chance of any confusion. There is no chance of becoming misdirected. If we read Shastra from a bona fide source, then all information is available. Then nobody will cheat us. Nobody will cheat the poor innocent public, like how it's happening now in Kali Yuga, unfortunately. So he is decorated with the Kaustubha jewel and the mark of Srivatsa. So these two things, this jewel and the Srivatsa mark, these are the two things that distinguish the Lord from the other inhabitants of Vaikuntha. Because one of the 5 kinds of liberation is Swarupa. Swarupa means you have the same form as the Lord. There are 5 kinds of liberation we have discussed previously. So one is Swarupa. So everybody in Vaikuntha has the same look. Everybody is looking the same. Yes. So how to distinguish? But these two things, this Kaustubha jewel and the mark of Srivatsa, these are the 2 things that only the Lord has. The other living entities who have that Swarupa Mukti, they do not have the Srivatsa mark and they do not have this Kaustubha jewel. What is a Srivatsa mark? Srivatsa mark is a curl of hair on the Lord's chest. That indicates that the Lord's chest is the residence of Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi resides in the heart of Narayan. So that's the mark of Srivatsa that only the Lord has. So these two distinguish the Lord in the Vaikuntha planet. Now, Kali Yuga incarnation. Who is the incarnation of Kali Yuga? Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whom we have discussed. He appeared 500 years ago. When Krishna appears in Dwapara Yuga, the Kali Yuga that follows Krishna, in that Kali Yuga, the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. So he has a golden color. Now, why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's complexion golden?
Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu just came in Srimati Shri Radharani's bow, and Srimati Shri Radharani is in a golden form.
Yes, exactly. So Srimati Radharani is golden complexion. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is golden complexion. Why? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the combined form of Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So he has taken the complexion of Srimati Radharani. We say Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Kanchan means gold. Right? Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi. Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. So she is golden complexion. Okay. So in the age of Kali, he assumes a golden color and he's accompanied by his personal devotees. What does he do? Introduces Harinam Sankirtan, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. By this process, he delivers love for Krishna to the general populace. So it is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who has given us this Hare Krishna mantra. This Hare Krishna mantra is not a mental speculation of someone. It's not that Prabhupada gave us a new mantra. He's only given us that which is given in disciplic succession, isn't it? So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us this mantra. Previously, this mantra was there in the Vedas, in our Shastra, but it was secret. It was given only to those who are qualified. But because Kali Yuga is the most fallen, most degraded age, and we don't have qualifications, therefore, out of mercy, out of causeless mercy, he opened up this mantra for anyone and everyone, even a child, even the most sinful person, man, woman, rich, poor, Indian, American, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, does not matter. Anyone can chant this Hare Krishna mantra. So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. His place of appearance is Sri Mayapur Dham. If you get the opportunity, please do visit Sri Mayapur Dham. It's a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from Calcutta. Then we have Shaktavesha Avatar. Shaktavesha Avatar are empowered incarnations. So the Lord empowers a living entity to do something which is otherwise an impossible task. So the Lord empowers, because he empowers or gives the potency or the power to a living entity to do an impossible task. Therefore, he is called as a Shaktavesha Avatar. For example, Lord Brahma is a Shaktya-Vesha avatar. He is empowered to create. Otherwise, who can create and create all these so many bodies, right? It's not possible for an ordinary living entity, but the Lord empowered Lord Brahma to create. Even Srila Prabhupada is a Shaktya-Vesha avatar, because Srila Prabhupada is that personality who was actually predicted in the Shastras. The Shastras actually predict the appearance of Srila Prabhupada. The Shastras predict that how there will be this person, he will come and he will spread the chanting of the holy name in every town and village, So previously it was only limited in India. In India, you can see people with dhotis chanting the holy name, but it was not seen in the Western world. But Srila Prabhupada has taken this chanting in the Western countries as well. So every town and village, the Shastra actually predicted Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada is that personality who is predicted in our scriptures. So therefore, Prabhupada is also a Shaktya-Vesha avatar. He was empowered to spread this knowledge in every town and village. So here's a summary. These are the 6 kinds of incarnations. So Krishna appears as Krishna once in the life of Brahma, but in the meanwhile, there are these other incarnations that appear and they come and they go. There are as many incarnations as there are waves in the ocean. 4.9.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Translation. Divya, are you there?
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Okay, so here Krishna is talking about the nature of his appearance. He says that his nature, his appearance is transcendental. And what is the result of understanding the transcendental nature of his appearance? What is the result of understanding the transcendental nature of his activities? Is that upon leaving this body, we will not take birth again in this material world. So here Krishna says that once you attain moksha, once you come to the spiritual world, you will not take birth again in this material world, but attain the eternal abode, O Arjuna. So Krishna is saying that my appearance and my activities, janma and karma, are divyam. They are transcendental. Krishna's birth, Krishna's janma, and Krishna's activities, karma, are not ordinary activities like our activities. Now we cannot take birth wherever we want. We cannot take birth. We cannot choose our parents. We cannot choose our place of birth, right? We have to accept the body that we are getting according to what we deserve and what we desire. But Krishna's janma and karma are transcendental. He chooses where he wants to appear, when he wants to appear, to whom he wants to appear, right? He can choose. So therefore, his appearance and disappearance or his activities also are all divyam. So therefore, if we try to understand Krishna's activities with our limited intelligence, limited brains, then we will find fault with even God. People find fault with even God. People have so many problems with Krishna. No, they accuse Krishna of doing so many things that they think it's morally incorrect or it is politically incorrect or whatever. So people find fault with even God. Why? Because we cannot understand with our material mindset, with our limited intelligence, we cannot understand he who is unlimited. The Lord is unlimited. He's Ananta, right? And we have very small, minute intelligence. And still, if we do not understand from Guru Sadhu Shastra, if we don't understand or we don't read what the Acharyas have to say, then we will misunderstand. Then we will find fault with even God. See the external internal framework for understanding Krishna's descent. Because here Krishna is saying that those who understand my janma and my karma, that they understand that it's divyam, it's transcendental, then that person does not have to take birth again. No, there is no more punarjanma. So externally, Krishna appears to establish dharma in the world, but internal reason for his appearance, the real reason, his real agenda is to establish prema in the heart, to establish love in our hearts. That's the real reason for Krishna's descent. For anything, there are going to be external reasons and internal reasons. For any spiritual concept, if we try to understand any Leela also, there are going to be external reasons and internal reasons. Even for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is external reason and there is internal reason for his appearance. Now, contextual perennial framework for understanding Krishna's descent. Contextually, to establish dharma at a particular time and place, he came to Bharatavarsha, right? Once in the day of Brahma, he comes, particular time and place, he comes to Bharatavarsha. Now, perennially, now one may think, okay, Krishna appeared 5,000 years back in that warlike situation. He spoke the Bhagavad Gita, but how does that message make it relevant to me? How does Krishna's appearance 5,000 years back have any relevance to me who is now existing 5,000 years later? What is the relevance of someone who walked the planet 5,000 years ago, right? How do I connect to that? So one may think that it's not, it's probably irrelevant, but he also has a perennial effect, right? The Krishna's appearance has a perennial effect, is what? He provides a spiritual legacy of his beautiful pastimes to devotionally attract humanity for all time to come and at all places. So even though Krishna may not personally be present, right? Now, still he has left behind the legacy of his leelas. So when we read those leelas, when we hear those leelas, then we feel an attraction for Krishna. And when we feel that attraction for Krishna, then we want to surrender to Krishna. Then we love Krishna. We can only surrender to a person whom we love, right? We cannot surrender to a person whom we don't love. A child loves, when the child is still young, the child loves his parents and he follows the instructions of parents. As the child grows, then there are other dynamics that come into picture, but you see that love is there. So when we love someone, we surrender to that person. So and how are we going to love someone is when we are attracted to that person. So Krishna leaves behind a legacy of his leelas so that we can be attracted towards him. And why he wants that we should be attracted towards him is so that we can get benefited, we can be delivered, we can go back to the spiritual world.
वीतराग भय क्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः.
Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love for me.
So here Krishna is talking about the result of going beyond liberation to a state of absorption. Previously he said, no, the person will not take birth again. So what is the result of that? We attain transcendental love for Krishna. Now see this line, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Krishna is repeating this again. Previously he spoke this in chapter 2. Here he says, see in the third line, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. So this line Krishna is repeating. What is he talking about? He's talking about attachment, fear, and anger. When he spoke about the qualities of a Sthita Pragya, if you can recall, that time he said that a Sthita Pragya is one who is free from Raga, Bhaya, and Krodha, attachment, fear, and anger. Now also he's saying that a person who's freed from attachment, fear and anger, and is fully absorbed in me, takes refuge in me. Many persons in the past have become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they have attained transcendental love for me. So see, one who again may think that why is Krishna talking about himself? Everything is me here. He's Krishna saying, be fully absorbed in me, take refuge in me, people in the past have become purified by knowledge of me and attained transcendental love for me. So this also people may misunderstand. Anyway, now let's discuss attachment, fear, and anger. So attachment is usually to what? Past, present, or future. Which, because where will you apply attachment, where will you apply fear, and where will you apply anger? Which will
Past.
come under past, present, and future?
Past, Mataji.
Past is what? Attachment.
Past is attachment.
Okay, then fear, where will you put fear?
Future.
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 We fear the future. Anger?
Future.
Present.
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 So what makes us angry about the present?
Because we can't change it.
We can't change it. We cannot change the present. And what about the past? Can we change the past?
No.
No.
Can we change the future?
No.
No?
Yes, yes.
How can we change the future? How can we change our destiny?
By
No, we can't change it.
Depending on the
By doing
karmas you
karma.
have.
By doing
By doing
By
good
doing
karmas,
bhakti
by
karma.
depending
surrender
on
to Krishna.
Yes. Okay, so our current situation is because of what we did in the past. Yes. So by the moment to moment choices we make today in the present, that will determine our future. So if we surrender to the Lord, if we engage in devotional services, then we can change our destiny by our present activities. So we fear the future. Attachment to the past or to the present?
Past.
So why do we fear the present? I mean, don't you think something is not right? Anger, I'm sorry. Anger. Fear is for the future. Anger and attachment. When somebody does something wrong to us, do we have the grudge in our hearts? Is it easy for us
Yes,
to
we do. If we
forgive and
are not
forget?
devotees, yes, we do. Forgive and forget, we don't really consider that unless we are a
So it is not so easy for us to give up resentment of something that has happened to us in the past, right? Something may have happened to us even 40 years ago, something that happened to us when we were a small child or even when we were in our schools, but we don't tend to forget and forgive so easily. So usually attachment is for the past. Fear is, okay, wait 1 second. I'm sorry. Attachment is to the present. Fear is for the future and anger is to the past, because we don't want to overcome the resentment of what somebody has done to us in the past. We still hold on to it. We are more attached to what we have with us in the present. Like, the money we possess, the property we possess, our family members, whatever we have at present, we are attached to it. Right? And we fear the future. Now, the insurance companies make a lot of money with this one principle, that we fear the future. We fear what is going to happen if there is an earthquake, if there is a fire, if my property is stolen, if the robbers enter my store and they loot my warehouse, right? So we want insurance policies for everything. What if I die an untimely death, then what will happen to my family? So fear for the future. Therefore, insurance companies make a lot of money out of this principle. Now, can we spiritualize anger, attachment, and fear?
Yes.
Can we spiritualize? So how do we spiritualize anger?
by putting the anger in the devotional service, like Hanumanji did.
Yes, Hanuman is the very good example of somebody who spiritualized anger. When he burned down Lanka, he was angry, he was furious, isn't it? Out of anger, he burned the whole of Lanka. But that he did out of devotional service to Lord Ram. He didn't do it for his own sense gratification. He didn't have any personal agenda there. So Hanuman spiritualized anger. How can we spiritualize attachment?
Attachment spiritualized by putting attachment to bhakti, like Krishna's Leela and everything, into the devotee service and everything.
Yeah, we get attached to the Lord, to the Lord's devotees, his pastimes, anything connected to the Lord. If we are attached to that, then we spiritualize attachment. Then future, how can we spiritualize, fear? How can we spiritualize fear?
If
What
you
we have
surrender,
to fear?
Prabhupada,
Yeah, we
Well-
surrender completely to Krishna. We have no more fear, because Prabhupada says someone who chants 24 hours in their mind and work 24 hours for Krishna has no anxiety or fear, and he guarantees that.
Yeah, but how do we spiritualize fear? There is fear, but it is spiritual.
By chanting, by taking your senses and putting them in devotional service.
Okay, anybody else wants to try?
By purifying your mind.
No, but how to spiritualize fear? Or give me an example of spiritualizing fear. What does a devotee fear? What does a devotee fear?
the fall down.
The devotee
A
fears
fall down.
of
Yes,
forgiveness,
very nice, Shivani.
and
100 points.
and also the
Right?
forgetfulness of Krishna.
Yes, a devotee fears a fall down. A devotee fears falling a prey to Maya. A devotee fears that there may be a day when he is no more attached to the spiritual name. He is no more attached to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada also would say, that he prays that he does not fall into Maya. So this way we can spiritualize. Now see, Krishna, this we actually already discussed. Krishna has so far revealed in chapter 4 whom he has spoken this knowledge to, why he is now speaking it again, why he chose Arjuna, how he is Aja, unborn. His body does not deteriorate. He said that he's the Lord of all living entities. When he appears, why he appears, what activities he indulges in when he appears. So why is Krishna talking about himself? Why does he say that he's the Lord of all living entities? We have discussed this already. Is Krishna a dictator wanting everyone to serve him? No, Krishna is not a dictator. He's a benefactor. Why? Because a living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord. And thus his natural function is to render service. It's only natural that we will render service. So Krishna is just saying this for our own benefit. Because unless we do not serve him, we cannot be happy. Just like how, the stomach is the organ in the body that receives all the food. But if the hands and legs say that I have to work so hard and the food goes to the stomach, and so the stomach is enjoying. If the hand says I'm doing all the work now, I don't want to give the food to the stomach, I'm going to enjoy independently. Can it be possible? It cannot be possible. So therefore, the hand has to work to give the food to the stomach. When the food goes to the stomach, automatically all the parts of the body receive nourishment, including the hands. So like that, when we serve the Lord, automatically all the living entities are going to be happy. We cannot enjoy independently from Krishna. The hand cannot say, I will get the food and I will enjoy the food independently. I will not give it to the stomach. The hand cannot say that. The hand cannot be nourished like that. So therefore, we have to if we are going to be happy, then that is the only way for us to be happy is by serving the Lord, because that is our eternal constitutional position. Just as how a fish is happy in the water only, there is no other way. Therefore, in the same way, we can be happy only by serving the Lord. Any other factor is not going to help us be happy. So therefore, for our benefit only, Krishna says what he says. So Krishna is not a dictator, he's a benefactor. We'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class if Krishna so sanctions. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagawad Gita ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Koti Koti Dhanavad Pranam. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Jai Jai Pataka Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Nam Mataji ki jai. Please accept our humble obeisance. Shri Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Radhe.
Krishna Mataji.
Okay, so do we have any questions?
Mataji, when is Kartik starting?
Yeah, so this is something that, some devotees begin Kartik after Ekadasi. On Ekadasi, they consider the first day of Kartik. Some devotees, they consider Purnima to be the first day of Kartik, and some devotees consider Pranipat. Pranipat is actually the first day of the month. So I will give you all the 3 dates, and you can follow from whatever you feel inspired by. In Mayapur, at least the devotees follow it from the month of from Kartik. I'm sorry, from Ekadasi. I think I have lost it. There are 3 dates. Okay, some devotees begin on Ekadasi, some devotees begin on Purnima, and some devotees begin on the first day of the month. So Kartik here Ekadasi date here in Chile is 25th of October. So you can follow from the 25th of October, or from Purnima, which is on the 28th of October, or the first day of the month of Damodar would be 29th of October. That's the first day of the month. That is Pranipat.
Give me 1 second, Mataji, let me write it down.
Okay.
25, 28, 29.
25 is Ekadasi, 28th is Purnima, and 29th is technically the first day of the month.
So 25, 28, and 29, you said, right?
Yes. I don't know if you have the same dates for the US.
So where are Ekadashi coming up on the 9th, Monday?
Yes, for you it's on the 9th, for us here it's on the 10th. Tuesday is Ekadasi for us. That Ekadasi comes before, but this Ekadasi that's for Kartik is 25th, here in Chile at least.
Oh, what I'm seeing on my calendar is saying 24th.
So then for you it will be 24th, 27th, and 28th for you.
24, 27, 28. Our last day of Chaturmas is 27th. Yeah, it says 28th, start of Damodar Mass. Kartik begins on 28th. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So can you tell us what we should do on the month of Kartik?
Oh, sky is the limit. But the most basic is you offer ghee lamps to Lord Damodar. If you have a photo of Krishna and Yashoda, we did a special Damodar class with the previous Bhagavad Gita batch on Zoom. I will share that link in the group. You can watch the videos for those who were not with us last year in the previous batch. And you can know all about why we celebrate this month, what is a pastime, what is a Leela. But what we do is we offer ghee lamps to Lord Damodar, 4 times at the feet, 2 times at the waist, 3 times in the head, and 7 times whole body. Right? 4, 2, 3, 7 ghee lamps. And we recite the Damodar Ashtakam. There is a prayer called Damodar Ashtakam. You can Google it. It's there on YouTube. You can print a copy and you can also hear the song. As the song is playing, you can recite along. If you're not sure about the pronunciation, if you're confident about the pronunciation, you can just read on your own also, whatever you're comfortable with. But Damodar Ashtakam and ghee lamps is the basic thing that we need to do. And of course, maximize your devotional services. Chant as much as you can, read as much as you can, hear from bona fide sources as much as you can.
Kartik month is how long?
1 month.
Okay.
It ends on here at least in this part of the world. The last day of Kartik is 26th. 26th November is the last day. For you, it may be 1 day before or after in India.
Okay, thank you.
You can check your Vaishnava calendar, right? Anybody, wherever. Let me share my screen 1 second.
For us, it's 26th as well.
Okay.
At least that's what the calendar
There's a
says.
website called Vaishnava calendar. Vaishnava calendar.
It says Mataji on the calendar like last day of Bhishma Panchak.
Bhishma Panchaka is the last 5 days of the month of Kartik.
And then it says, no, for the 26th, it's telling me Tulsi Shaligram Viva, last day of Kartik and Bhishma Panchak.
Yes, correct.
And then Sri Nimbarkar's appearance day and Sri Krishna Prastara Haranam, what is that? Something else. Like 4 or 5 things. 3, 5 things.
Yeah, here it doesn't show me all these things.
Then it's
But
Purnima
anyway,
on the 26th.
I want to say that you go to vaishnavacalendar.com and you can put your city, wherever you may be located in the world. Right? Let's put India.
Vaishnav.
Let's go to, where shall we go? Mumbai.
Yeah.
So you go there, you put your city, and then you can access it here, see. So here you have these dates. This is the month of October.
Yeah.
Today is the 7th, right? So here for Chile, for Mumbai, Tuesday 10th is Ekadasi. And here you have the time when you should break the fast. And here you have the next Ekadasi. So some people will follow Damodar from here, or they will follow from Purnima 28th or 29th, which is Pratipad, which is the first day of the month. Here it says Damodar Mas.
What is most advisable? Which one is best day to follow?
Most advisable, the more you do, the more benefit you get. So if you start on Ekadasi, you get more benefited.
And we count 29 days.
No. You have to end on the day it ends only.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Okay. So see, October's here, November. You have to follow till. Oh, it's not giving me.
26th November.
Yeah. Here it's not going beyond 24th yet. They will update the website later, I guess. Okay, but you end it on the last day of Bhishma Panchakaundi, not before. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much
You're welcome.
for the class and for the dates.
You're welcome.
Mataji,
Okay.
so as you said, sorry, I have a
Yes.
question. You said so we should start, for more benefit, we should do it from the Ekadashi, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Because auspicious day now, what do we have to lose? There is nothing to lose. The more we do, the more we are only going to get benefited. So there is no harm in starting from Ekadasi.
Okay. What kind of fast can we keep?
Fasting. Okay, there are many. See, that depends really. It's a personal, depending on your health, your situation. There are some people who would eat only one time a day. There are some people who eat only non-grain prasad throughout the month. So really it depends on your situation and your health. There is nothing shastric, so to speak. That depends on what level of austerity you want to follow, according to what you desire, according to what your health permits, according to what your situation permits, because it's for one whole month. So you can take a vow. If you decide to follow a certain standard, then in your altar you can take a vow and you can pray to the Lord to give you the strength to fulfill it for the whole month. And then you do whatever you can.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
What about our exams, the papers?
The last day to submit is, still you have a couple of days, right?
Okay.
There is still time for submission.
Okay.
9th is the date. October 9th.
Yeah, 9. So still 2 days are there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right then. So see you all next week if Krishna so sanctions. Till then, have a nice week in Krishna consciousness. Vancha kalpataru vyascha kripa sindhu vevacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad
Jai.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna, Pranam.
Jai. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.